Hey, good morning everyone. Riley Foster here, back in the shop. About 100% humidity today, which, man, is miserable. I'm gonna try to get a little video done here on a project that I'm working on for a customer. This is a lift gate, or excuse me, a dump bed for a gator, a John Deere gator. And the problem is, all of these screws have stripped out and this thing literally fell apart. And to replace it, he said, is $600. Ouch. So I got to looking at it, and how can we make this not, first of all, cost $600, and then second of all, take it in my shop, make me some money, save him some money. So me being from where I'm at, we learned how to make things work instead of going out and buying new. So I'm going to take a piece of 2.5 inch pipe that will not fit over this motor. As you can see, if it does, it's too tight. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to the lathe and clean this off and clean that weld out of the middle so it'll slide down over that motor nice and tight. And then I'm going to build brackets that bolt this down, and I'm going to take this boot off and slide another piece of pipe that I'll have to notch out. Now, this is my design. This is how I fix things. You can go out and buy a $600 one if you choose to, but this is not a bad way to do this. And the object is to hold this bottom. There's where it fell apart, literally, that seam, just the whole bottom gears. He said just a whole bunch of stuff fell out on the ground. So that's where we're going to go with this today. Let's see what we can get done. Hold on one second, and we'll get started. All right, so I'm gonna skip around. Obviously, you don't want to watch this whole thing being made. So I'm going to find center. And again, these are real close. Tap that dimple, tap that dimple. These are for drilling purposes. There and there. Now, some people have commented that I don't do exact. Well, I promise you, it might not be machine perfect, but when I'm done, this thing will work, and it saves a bunch of time, and it saves this customer money, and it makes me money. So I'm in the business to make money and do good quality work. Hold on one second, and we'll go to another station. All right, guys, another station. We're gonna cut that pipe to fit the motor. I've already cut the 2.5. This is 2 inch. Remember, wear your safety protection. So here we go. All right, so next station is, I've got this piece of 2.5 inch pipe set up in my lathe. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean off the outside first, and then I'm gonna come back and use a boring tool to get rid of that weld that's in there. Yeah, you can see it right there. And that's what's hitting, well, that plus a little bit of rough materials inside that pipe. So what I want to do is I want to touch off here. And again, I can use my digital display, which this comes equipped with. But for this job, I'm going to freehand it because I taught myself to do machining. So I don't necessarily go by the machinist code. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna touch this off. Yeah, it's touched off. Make sure speeds and feeds are good. All safety features being operated here, and here we go. Let's turn this thing on. And first, I'm gonna ease it in. I'm gonna take a little bit. This is a piece of pipe I use for something else. So there we go. I'm gonna ease that off. And I'm just taking a little bit off right now just to find out how centered up I am. Make sure everything is nice and tightened down. Here shortly I'll be able to take off more of a product. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to back up here and remove the amount that I need. Now that's nice right there. And all I need is about 1 inch to 1 1/8 inches of this pipe. So once I get down, and again, I'm just ballparking that measurement because this is not machine perfect and does not have to be exact. So that looks pretty good right there. I'm gonna back it off. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ease in here and clean off this face. And all this is freehand machining. I did not choose to go CNC because I like hands-on with my tools. And it ain't gonna take much to clean off that surface. I'm gonna back that off. Let's pause this just a second. And then we're gonna go from there. We don't wanna run out too much video on YouTube, get all bent out of shape, so hold on. You can see that I changed my angle, and the reason being is I didn't want to use the back side. I did not want to use the back side of this tooth. That's not where it cuts the best. So I'm going to put this on pause and we're going to bore that middle out just a little bit. So hold on. All right, I'm going to ease this in here and give you an idea of the cleanup on this thing. Now I made this boring bar out of 1-inch stainless steel round rod. Now you can hear that tap. What that's doing is that's that weld. I'll back it off just a little bit more. And I'm going to run it. About the only thing we're doing is getting rid of that weld in there. I don't need to go in but about 1 inch. I'm going to back that out. Now you see this is ever so slight. Should cut it out. Taking that weld out and is cleaning out the inside of that pipe. And all I need to do is go in about 1 inch. So we're going to put this on pause and go to another station. All right. Hey, I was going to bring this up earlier, keep forgetting about it. If you're going to enjoy these videos, please do, but you got to like and share with other people and comment. It helps build the channel. It keeps me interested in doing it or showing it because people are interested in watching it. So these are the pieces that I just made. This was that square bar. I drilled 1/4 inch round hole in there and gave it a kind of a bend. Now you can see it's hammered. This is not brain surgery or rocket science. You can do this. This was the 2-inch or 2.5 inch piece. This was the 2-inch piece that I cleaned up, and I notched that with my portaband, and all I did was the thickness of the wall to slide down and make a contact with the bar stock that I'm adding on to. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together, see how it works out. Let me make sure we're all in focus. Yeah, we're good to go. So let's slide this boot off. I had to pop the clamps. You get that boot off of that maybe. There we go. Now, this ring goes on first. That's a really good fit. Then I'm going to put the bar stock on like that. Yep, and get my screws down in there, down in there. And this tab, you can see I rounded it off. This keeps from sharp edges. I cut it with the shear instead of the saw, and just bit the edges off and then run it with a grinder. So that way it looks a little bit better. It ain't as sharp. And again, this is not rocket science. You don't have to make these absolute machined and perfect, because these guys don't want to pay $600 for this lift for their gator. And John Deere, that's expensive. That's all I can say. $600. This looks more like a satellite dish motor. Is what it looks like to me. So try to get that in camera. I'm just going to snug that down for a minute. Snug that down for a minute. Be turning. Now let's see. I want these to be bitten on there really good. And then this one slides over this. Really good fit. Now, check that out. I will weld it there and there, get it tacked on, and then take it off and weld it up. Now this is going to all come off in one piece. Once this gets welded together, it'll stay where it's put. This guy's going to appreciate this, and my wallet will too. So remember, you gotta like and share, subscribe to the channel, get these videos out there. If you got the tools, you can do these jobs, and if not, hey, you can come up with your own way to do it. So let me put it on pause. I'll get the welder set up and we'll go from there. Hold on 1 second. All right, I got it clamped off to the table. Oh, and by the way, you can see I am still using my little nozzle holder. That thing works so great. I have to actually make 1 or 2 more. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this with my big mitten away. I'm going to try to get this back side tacked. Shit. Put that on pause just a second. I got to reroute a ground. Alright, I had to reroute the ground so that I would get a good ground on this piece of pipe. So hold on 1 second. 1 tack. 2 tacks. I'm going to go ahead and tack this back side. Now that will hold that until I can get it off of there and get it welded up solid. So hold on, we'll take care of that. Alright guys, check this out. I got it off the motor, it slides off and on really nice. I'm going to weld these 2 top sides only, because if I weld underneath, it's going to hit the motor and not clamp down tight. So let's go ahead. I'm going to run this the opposite so you can watch the weld. Being I'm left-handed, I will promise you that will hold long after that motor is dead and gone. So I'm going to paint it black, and it'll almost look like John Deere made it. And again, not hours and hours and hours of labor and machining. One quick design, one quick build, a couple of hours worth of labor. This guy's going to be very thankful, and me too. So guys, remember, you got to like, share, and comment these videos, or I might just quit doing them and keep all this information to myself. Thanks to everybody that has subscribed so far, and remember, get it out there, share it, and let's see how many we can get. Thanks, and have a great day.